Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to week 5 of the NFL season. It's a great day to be alive. The Green Bay Packers got their 3rd win of the season over the Los Angeles Rams. I'm still getting used to the Los Angeles Rams and not St. Louis Rams because I've had to do 4 takes now to make sure I got that name right. But nonetheless, a great victory today. Nothing better when your favorite team in sports gets a victory on football Sunday, and I absolutely had a fucking ball after the win today. Nothing exciting or pretty to kind of glamour about. Might be a shorter video compared to other ones, but nonetheless a great win. You come into this game, Rams, from my everything that I'm hearing, the Rams were supposed to be a top team this year. With unfortunate luck, with you got Puka Nacua going to IR, Cooper Kupp being injured the last 2 to 3 weeks, and half their O-line being decimated to injuries. It was kind of a foregone conclusion that this was going to be what some would call a get-right game for the Green Bay Packers. Thankfully, they got it done. Everybody was saying they should beat this team. The Bears just come off a victory over the Rams last week. So everyone was just kind of saying this should be a get-right game for the Packers, and my brain automatically switches to this is going to be a tough one. There's no easy game in the NFL. It's Matthew Stafford. He knows this team. Sean McVay is one of the best head coaches in the NFL, and it showed today. I can thankfully say the Green Bay Packers got it done 24-19, albeit by only a 1-score game, but I just wanted the victory. If it was sloppy, which it was, I just wanted to come out of this with a victory, and that's what good teams do to I don't want to say bad teams, but good teams beat teams like this that are decimated to injury, and I'm just glad that they came out with a win. You absolutely needed that to stay in top and stay involved in this crazy NFC North division. Easily the best division in football. Bears win today. They moved to 3-2. Lions had a bye, but they're still 3-1. They're still one of the best teams, maybe the best team in the NFC North, or in the NFC in general. And then you got the surprise team of the season, the Minnesota Vikings, led by Sam Darnold, being 5-0, getting a win in London over Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets. It just absolutely hurt my soul to see Aaron Rodgers, a man that I love, get his I believe his 5th career pick 6 today. I mean, I know this is. I'm going to talk about the Packers, but just bear with me. Aaron Rodgers, he's played in the league for 20 years at this point. It's like 19 or 20 years, and today marks only his 5th time he's ever been picked 6th in the NFL. Unfucking real stat. Sad to see him get one today. I hate seeing that. 4 with the Packers. Now he's got 1 with the Jets. But credit to the Vikings. They just keep fucking winning. In my opinion, they're doing the most Vikings thing ever and peaking when you shouldn't be. Although I would want the Packers to play better, it's kind of nice to see where, that this team is winning ugly, winning shitty, and you can see that there's so much potential left with the offense, the defense, the special teams, where who knows where this team could be headed if they just stop shooting themselves in the foot and start playing good football. But rather have these hiccups right now rather than the end of the season, which I'm hoping that's what happens to the Vikings, because I just cannot see them sustaining this type of great football play for another 12 weeks. Like, there's no way that's going to happen. Vikings are peaking now. But back to the Packers. Just so glad they got the victory today. And before I'm not gonna go chronologically necessarily in this video, but I just want to say another Brian Gutekunst victory today. I know there's a lot of other pieces that involved with it, but another win for Brian Gutekunst with his free agency pickup and his draft class the past couple of years. You got a lot of young guys contributing so much into this team. To help them get victories in this league, which victories are no slouch to come by. Um, Guys like Evan Williams, who made the critical pass breakup today on fourth down to ultimately lead the Packers to get the win and start taking knees. A critical, beautiful pass breakup when, by all accounts, Packers defense was completely turning it into Packers D, just letting the offense and Matthew Stafford and company walk right down the field, just drive after drive in the second half. But Evan Williams, the rookie, comes in and makes a key pass breakup on fourth down to seal the game. Love to see that. Another guy, Carl Brooks, the sixth round pick last year out of Bowling Green, had a sack and a half today. Absolutely came to fucking play. He was a guy I was really looking forward to seeing play this year because recently, prior to the season starting, I saw a redraft of if you were to make a redraft of last year's draft, Carl Brooks, a sixth round pick that year. I saw a lot of mocks where he'd actually be a first round pick now because that's how talented and effective he was last year. So I was deeply excited to see how he was going to play this year. Big quiet, but he's been rotating a lot with the defense. So he hasn't been like getting a lot of full snap counts, but today he got it due to Devontae Wyatt being declared out today. It was so nice to see Brooks get pressure today, get 1.5 sacks. It was just huge, and love to see that. Love to see him keep getting better and get him more on the field because he is a fucking dog. Another guy that Brian Gutekunst drafted that played really well today was Tucker Kraft. Led the team in receiving today with 88 yards, including that 66-yard tight end screen for a touchdown. Absolutely fucking awesome. Tucker Kraft is an absolute fucking dog, all-around tight end. Love that guy. He just epitomizes like Green Bay Packers, epitomizes Wisconsin, epitomizes just being a fucking badass. I'm sorry. That dude is just so hard to root for. Even in his interviews, he could just tell like he just wants to win for this team and he loves this team. And he blocks, he makes great catches, runs great routes, and he's so great at catching the ball and getting those extra yards, getting that nice yak to get more yards and keep the sticks moving. Absolutely loved his play today. He's a dog. Although I liked Luke Musgrave in the draft process last year, and he was questionable coming in today, and ultimately he was going to play, but in like a smaller term. I don't think I ever saw him once on the field, and it's kind of frustrating. This is my opinion. I always love when the Packers they double down on a draft, I love when the Packers double down on a position, in the draft of need. A couple years ago, they needed tight ends, so they went out in the second round and grabbed Luke Musgrave, and in the third round, they grabbed Tucker Kraft too. And I love that concept because you can, in my opinion, you always have a chance to get at least one guy out of it. Even if the other guy sucks, you just obviously have a higher percentage of hitting on these guys to make an impact for your team. Yeah, you could potentially waste one of those because one guy's not getting more reps than the other guy, but ultimately, you got the teams like the Patriots where they drafted Aaron Hernandez, God rest his fucking soul, and then they draft Rob Gronkowski, God rest his soul too. Just kidding, but both of those guys hit. You draft both of those guys, and they both hit. Both of them great players. That's just what I wanted. Ultimately, you're seeing now that Tucker Kraft is more of the all-around guy that can block, that digs deep, that can chip guys, can run routes, can get a bunch of yak, whereas Luke Musgrave is kind of like a tight end that you line up in the tight end spot and run routes, run a stick route, run a 5-yard curl, or you put him in the slot and you can just have him run different concept of routes. But he's not really a blocking tight end, at least not right now he isn't. And you're seeing, a full change in the number 1 and number 2 position. Now you see the third round guy getting more of the first team snaps. But enough said of that. Love Tucker Kraft. Had such a nice day today, but it's just another guy. So there's 3 right there: Evan Williams, Carl Brooks, Tucker Kraft. 3 guys right there that's been really big success for Brian Gutekunst in drafting. It was just nice to see that your GM's making good decisions with your picks, and ultimately your coaches are making those players be successful on the field. And that leads me to my absolute fucking dog of the game. And even if the Packers somehow lost today, I was going to start off this video by talking about this man, Xavier. Throw up the X because it's so cringy. Xavier McKinney with his fifth five-time WCW. No. Five times that he's intercepted the ball in a game. 5 straight games with an interception by Xavier McKinney. Just absolute fucking stud. Absolute stud. He's trending towards first team Pro Bowler, first team All Pro. Throw him in the defensive player of the year. And when do we start talking about MVP shit? I know he's just a defensive back and he never win it. But man, Xavier McKinney, 5 straight picks to start a season. Unfucking real. Just played his ass off too. Had a nice pass breakup. The dude is just a problem. And it's not like these balls are throwing straight to him. He's making great cuts in the center of the field defensively, cutting off these routes and making great plays and catching the ball. That's the one thing we've always missed from even years prior. These safeties would be in good position to get these interceptions, but they'd all drop them. That's why they're defensive backs. But Xavier McKinney, he fucking catches them, and it's so awesome to see. Because other than that, this defense kind of looks broken. Not to bring it to a negative point, but this defense looks... If it wasn't for the turnovers, I'm kind of curious to see if the defense gets fucking, ran over and fucking 10, 15-yard pass plays, just run over them every single drive until we turn the ball over. At least we can say that. At least we can turn the ball over. But man, I'm gonna get scared when we stop turning the ball over. Are we just gonna get pounced by 40 points every weekend? It's kind of fucking nerve-wracking. But another great turnover today too by Kingsley and Igbari, punching that ball out of Kyron Williams' run. All momentum was shifting towards the Los Angeles Rams until Kingsley and Igbari punched that ball out. You never see that from the Packers. That's always been a Bears thing. It's always been another team's thing. But seeing Igbari punch that ball out and recover by no other than Xavier McKinney, it was absolutely fucking awesome to see that. And everything was, like I said, trending towards LA, getting the momentum back. They get the turnover. Very next play, Jordan Love hits Tucker Kraft for that 66-yard touchdown. Absolutely love to see that. Speaking of Love, I didn't think he had a good game at all. In fact, I'm rather disappointed. I'm saying this going forward. I'm going to give him a break for this last game and this last game only because... And I like to see in the second half he played a lot better. But, man, can we just get a full game of this guy being great? Because if he can just play a full game great, I know you could say that for everybody. I know you can say that for everybody. They all played a great game. They'd be all great. But, man, you can see the greatness from this fucking guy at times. And then you can see the opposite. He just, with that inexcusable pick 6, his first of his career, full Favre-like runs out of the end zone, takes a snap. He's getting pressured, and I get that he's about to get sacked in the end zone for a safety, so he's going to try to make a play. And it's easier said than done, but just try your fucking hardest to throw it out of bounds, not to an LA Rams guy for a easy pick six, game-changing momentum play, or just throw it in the dirt if you can. I just find a way to not make those Brett Favre-like plays. And trust me, I'm the biggest Brett Favre fan of all time. But man, that was very early Favre-like. It was just a kind of wild to see. Hate to see that, but Love did settle down. You could tell by halftime with Matt LaFleur's speech to Tracy Wolfson. You could tell he was pissed at Love, just how he played and making that poor decision. And it was kind of evident with that second half where he was just kind of giving Love a bunch of easy screens for the rest of the game. Screens to Josh Jacobs, screens to Tucker Kraft, jet end arounds with Reed. You just kind of saw that for the rest of the game. I don't know if he didn't trust him necessarily, but that's just what my eyes see. I could be totally off, but that's just my opinion. Love finished the game with 15 completions for 26, 224 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, and ironically had a 95 passer rating. Stafford, 29 for 45, 260 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Kyron Williams went off on this defensive line. 22 carries, 102 yards rushing. He just absolutely had a day. I'm like, I know he's a great running back, but you just can't let this happen. That's their only way of getting their offense going, and just the defensive line just not getting pressure today, not creating havoc. Quay Walker, he's just not. I want to stamp it. I'll hold out for one more week, but man, he's just not the fucking guy at linebacker. He just seems to be looking around everywhere the whole time. He's not that off-ball linebacker that you wanted out of the draft. But there's one man that can save it. And that's a man who was my biggest draft crush this last draft season, and that was Edgerrin Cooper, the man out of Texas A&M, who got his another sack today. Just absolutely, it was everything that I watched from like Texas A&M film. Just played fast, great blitzer, just pursuits, tacklers. He's easily the best off-ball linebacker that we got right now, and they need to find a way to get him more on the field because he is such a difference maker. I don't know if it's because his pass protection is questionable or, he's never been like a true good, pass protecting linebacker necessarily. But I wouldn't say Quay Walker's the best either. In fact, I feel like he's very subpar. Just got to find a way to get Edgerrin Cooper on the field. The man is a fucking dog. Everybody, I believe, would agree with me. But speaking of dogs, he just comes and plays every single game. My man, Jaden motherfucking Reed. Let's go. 4 catches today, 78 yards, including that 53-yard bomb. Love to Reed, and Love just went and threw it in triple coverage. I thought the ball's in the air, and I'm like, yep, that safety for them is over the top. He's going to pick the ball off. And somehow Reed, when it was luck, and it was just like a great catch because defender had, his hand and arm in the face of Reed, just made an absolute crazy 53-yard catch. Reed is an absolute dog. I love the guy. He's the team right now. Offensively, he's the guy that gets things going. No Romeo Doubs today. Just I absolutely disappointed him today. I know there's 2 sides to the story, and I'm sure he wants to have more production in this offense. But for him to get suspended because he just refused to go to, as of right now, just didn't show up to Thursday's practice and Friday's practice. Hate to see that. especially when you needed him today. Hopefully he can come in Monday and Matt LaFleur and company can get shit figured out with him so he can be a vital part of this offense because he is a big puzzle piece to this end game. If where Green Bay wants to go down the line, we need Romeo Doubs to be there. We don't need him to be skipping practice and ultimately not playing in games. Dontavian Wicks had 2 catches today for 20 yards. Very underwhelming performance. I thought he'd have a huge day. I thought he'd step up today and make big catches after, making key drops last week, and even some of the catches he finished out with last week. I mentioned how he was just bobbling them still, and man, he is having a big mental lapse. Catching the ball, he's literally doing the full Devontae Adams year 2 arc. It's kind of crazy. And I know Love's not putting these balls in the best spots, but man, these receivers are NFL receivers, and they need to go out and make a play for their quarterback. I mention this almost every week. These balls are touching their hands. It's not like it's completely out of reach. Love's putting it in an area. It might not be right in their hands like how Rodgers and Favre would do, but he puts them in it's at least in a semi-close spot that these receivers should catch these balls. And you saw another 2 drops today for Wicks, so he needs to step up next week, and I hope he does. But it was nice. It was nice. It was just a weird game too. You had Braden Arvison come and kick. He makes a beautiful field goal. I had no trust in him at all. He makes it straight down the line. So he played great while previously playing like shit all season. And then you have the punter who's been playing so great this year. Probably is one of the best punters in the league right now. I just have a complete shit game, just like 30-yard punts. Like it was just such one of those weird games, but it was nice to see Packers get a win today. Matt LaFleur gets his 5th straight win over his best buddy, Sean McVay. 5th straight win. Sean McVay always has the last laugh, I'm sure, because he has the Super Bowl that Matt LaFleur doesn't. But it was nice to see the Packers get a win today, especially their first win in Los Angeles over the Rams since like 1960s, like in the 60s. That's their first time winning in LA since that long. I know they've beaten the St. Louis Rams recently in St. Louis, but they haven't beaten the Los Angeles Rams since the 60s, so that was kind of cool to see. But really kind of worried about the defense. I just don't think Quay Walker's that guy to be the run-stuffing linebacker that I've always dreamed of. But I think Edgerrin Cooper can save and mitigate the damage for this defense going forward. And final point, I'm kind of negative on this win, but don't get me wrong, I'm so happy in many ways. But where's Rashawn Gary? Where is Rashawn Gary? I've seen a meme out there with a milk carton with his face on it where he's missing. He's missing on this defense. He's just not making plays. We need him and Preston Smith, who did have technically a half a sack today, but I feel like I haven't seen Preston Smith all fucking season. Or Rashawn Gary. Rashawn Gary, a crazy stat came up. 1 sack in the last 12 games. A man that you paid in the offseason to be and make plays. And yes, I know one of the plays in Tennessee, he got a sack that was called offside because Preston Smith's big-ass fucking head was in the neutral zone. So that sack didn't count. But 1 sack in your last 12 games is just mind-boggling to me. Like, if like guys like Max Crosby and Joey Bosa and those type of guys, Aiden Hutchinson, if they go like 11 quarters or 12 quarters without a sack, like they're like, wow, this is like a rough stretch for them. But to go 12 games with just 1 sack, it just kind of shows. And I know he was voted number 50 on the top 100 this last year, but I know that doesn't mean shit. But that's just, he needs to be a guy to help your defense. And there was absolutely no pressure today at all. Matthew Stafford had all fucking day to throw the ball, and the defensive line just did not show up in the run game either. They were just running their fucking ass all down our throat today, and it was fucking annoying. And I know it's not going to be a fucking... I know the Packers aren't supposed to beat every team's ass every single week in all phases of the game every single week, but damn it. Just... I go back to the point where I started this video. You see the potential of this team, and you just want them to... You just want to see that potential because you know you've seen it in spots and little sequences and a couple series here, a couple series there, and then all of a sudden they let shit loose. I just want them to put it all together when the time comes that they need to put it together. And I know that's not in October, that's in January, February, but you still need to make the playoffs. You still need to, you want to try to win your division to put yourself in a good position playoff-wise. So I am looking forward to next week. They play the Arizona Cardinals at home. A team that is just coming off a win over the San Francisco 49ers in San Francisco. And so, albeit you kind of thought that was going to be a good win for the Packers, it's going to not be it's going to be a tougher match than I think it's going to be. Kyler Murray's dangerous. Can't wait to see how that one plays out. But anyways, they got a dub, and I'm so happy that they're 3-2 and they're still in this division for the time being. But big plot points I just want to end this video off with is Brian Gutekunst had a fucking day today, and he won today's game with his picks. Like Evan Williams, Adrian Cooper, Carl Brooks, Jaden Reed, Tucker Kraft. You just love to see guys that your GM drafts make key plays to your team winning the football game. What more can you fucking ask? And Xavier McKinney in free agency. Like, just absolute fucking gold pick, worth every single penny to get that guy. I can't believe Joe Shane of the GM of the Giants let that dude go. And he was only 24 years old. Like, he could play another 5 years and still be 29 and still be great in this league. Man, I just what a great day, though. Packers got to win. Appreciate you guys for watching. If you want to do me a big favor and like this video, leave a comment down below. What is your favorite Packers player of all time? I would love to hear it. Who's your favorite? So please write that down in the comment. You can follow me on X. I'll leave that in the description. And until then, thank you guys for watching, and go Pack Go.